And we went to the old parts of 866, and we stopped in a lot of the towns along the way. We met a lot of people.
It gave us a real appreciation for, why the story is so special to them. On our trip, driving along the most powerful thing in Scotland was all beautiful rock on the western portion of 366. And being able to see that come to life, recreated by the thing, is really a powerful experience.
I grew up in Hungary. I came up commercial graphic arts and so that became ingrained in our brain, just as nature. What we're trying to do is to recreate an environment that will translate to the next and a piece of reality. It's not in the world.
Chyba.
To all small details that it's geology offered. The closer you get bumper tires that rock. You look around and you are transported.
What Disney does so well is immerse guests in experiences. And
Look at this.
I think it reaches up to Huntsville. It's right down the street, you walk through the mountain. The locals over it. You are surrounded by British engineers and a movie.
When we took on Tarzan as a project, we obviously had a great vocabulary to work from. But the film world, using control of the guest.
I can see somebody.
Go see what Mummy's got. You can see them there.
360 degrees, they can look around the corner, they can look up, they can look down. And so you have to start thinking about all those little nooks and crannies. And you come with taste that's not the movie.
That inspired the characters. If that character owns there are so many tiny little details that help tell the story of the home, indoors and outdoors.
We use so many tools, especially in the landscape design. We play with texture, we play with light, we play with color, and scale, certainly.
The graphics, the colors on the buildings, they all tell a consistent story. We don't have any contradictions. We immerse you into a world and immerse you into this fantasy story.
When we were designing our time, we were thinking these are what the actual characters were designed or by for themselves. So no matter where you are, whatever that time is related to, it's going to play a part in that story.
We have
Who's left?
Blue Sky process is the point in time where you sort of get to throw away all the rules and you just think, what if? What if we did this? What if we did that? And at that point, there's no bad ideas.
When you think of Imagineering, it's more than saying, I want to build a roller coaster. I want to build a really cool ride that people want to go on. We want to take it one step further and put you into a story, make you feel like you're in a different place and in a different time.
When I came up with the idea to do a movie with Cars as characters, it really was kind of merging of the two sides of my kind of family, you might say. My dad, as a parts manager at the Chevy dealership, my mom was an art teacher. It kind of represented my love of cartoons and animation, and so it kind of really merged the two together. The story of Cars really started gelling. The summer of 2000, my wife and I took a cross-country motorhome trip with our 5 sons. We went down Route 66 and just experienced that kind of old-fashioned road trip. And I kind of got reminded of something really special, and that is that the journey in life is the reward, not the destination. And when they started talking about taking the characters and the place that we developed in our movie Cars and making a land, I got so excited. I got so incredibly excited because Disneyland was one of the most important places and things in my life. And it actually has inspired me. I mean, Disneyland in great part inspired me to do what I'm doing for a living. We would go once or twice a year, and it was my favorite day of the year, and I remember just loving the detail, the authenticity. Every little aspect of it takes you to that place in time. And if we're gonna bring Radiator Springs to life, it has to be so authentic you feel like you are there. And to be authentic, the first thing I asked all the Imagineers, I said, you have got to get out there on Route 66 and travel Route 66. It's feeling it, seeing the light, and hearing the stories of the people on the road.
We started in Eric, Oklahoma, and we went to the old parts of Route 66, and we stopped in a lot of the towns along the way, and we met a lot of the people.
It gave us a real appreciation for, why the story was so special to John Lasseter. On our trip, driving along Route 66, the most powerful thing that sticks out in my mind was all of the beautiful rocks on the western portion of Route 66. And being able to see that come to life, recreated by the team, is really a powerful experience.
I grew up in Hungary. I came from an artist family, so not only that my father was a commercial graphic artist and a painter, but my uncle was a wood sculptor. Almost every weekend we went hiking in the mountains. So that became ingrained in our brains. I've just had this affinity towards nature. What we're trying to do is to really recreate an environment that would translate to the guest as a piece of reality. We assembled the top artists in the world. We really wanted to pay attention to all the small details that Route 66 geology offers.
The closer you get to that rock where it wraps around you, you look around and you are transported.
What Disney does so well is we immerse guests in experiences, and that's what Cars Land does. Cars Land, I think it reaches out and hugs you. As you walk down the street and you walk toward the mountain, the real world goes away. You are surrounded by Radiator Springs, and you're in the middle of a movie.
When we took on Cars Land as a project, we obviously had a great vocabulary to work from, but in the film world, you can control what the guest is watching or looking at. In a theme park, you can't. They can turn 360 degrees, they can look around the corner, they can look up, they can look down, and so you have to start thinking about all those little nooks and crannies. And in some cases, that's not defined in the movie.
Some of the biggest things that I learned on that trip involved meeting the people that inspired the characters. To meet Fran and Joanne from the Midpoint Cafe in Texas, who were the inspiration for Flow, and talk with them and kind of get an understanding of if that character owned a building, how would they decorate the inside? There are so many tiny little details that help tell the story of the whole land.
indoors and outdoors.
We use so many tools, especially at the landscape design. We play with texture, we play with light, we play with color, and scale, certainly.
The graphics, the colors on the buildings, they all tell a consistent story. We don't have any contradictions, and that's how we immerse you into a world and immerse you into this fantasy story.
When we were designing our signs, we were thinking these are what the actual characters would design or buy for themselves. So no matter where you are, whatever that sign is related to, it's gonna play a part in that story.
We have these 3 new attractions in Cars Land that have their own spirit, and I think that Walt would be very proud of this land.
Mater Shankar Jamboree is this musically based attraction where baby tractors are pulling trailers with our guests in them.
It's inspired by the old whip rides on the East Coast and the boardwalks, you know, where a castered vehicle would go down to the end of a loop and then